How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the skins that could potentially come in this next week. And that's right, potentially. If you're new, it doesn't mean all these skins will make it in. Only 8 to 10 make it in every week. And yeah, they could be from this list. They could be from somewhere completely different, a previous list, a future list, one way or another. They might not all make it. So check on Thursdays to see which ones do. So moving on, we've got the Tarpaulin hoodie. No, hide, poncho, and bandana for you. And yeah, it just looks like something made in the world of Rust. Has duct tape all over it and rope, and it's made from tarp. Even a little lock on there. A few things kind of going on. Next up, we've got the Concentric Part 3. And yeah, usually Part 3, once you get to that, if it's not accepted, that's kind of where it is for the set. But yeah, this is more updated. It has a more kind of shine to the actual kind of armor shattered pieces. And the leather just looks like it's been updated nicely, a better texture to it. So yeah, hey, maybe this is the chance it will have. Next, we've got the Thunder Gold hoodie and pants. And that's right. Yeah, look at that. Definitely a nice addition to the set. I like the little elbow pads, and then you've got the lightning in your back pockets there. Also the nice little bolt here on the back of the hoodie. Altogether, a nice hoodie and pants for the set. Next, we've got the Black Gold Jacket version 2. Definitely a very popular set, and I can see a lot of people wanting just another jacket skin that looks like this. It's darker, and the gold doesn't stand out too much, especially at night, so hey, I could see it doing quite well if it made in the shop. Next, we've got the Battle Elite set. And this one here looks like it's all made up of old, like, military kind of like tarp and stuff, and then you've got human bones placed all over it. And yeah, the whole thing's just pretty crazy looking. Definitely a very Rust design for sure. And a different take on, you know, the whole bones and skull face mask kind of thing. The fact that it is actual bones like attached to an old face mask and chest piece is a cool touch. Next, we have the X-Ray Noir set, and this has a really cool kind of depth going on that makes it look like you're actually looking in like an X-ray. And I think they did a really good job with that. How it like pops, you can even kind of feel it from the sides a bit, which I think is really, really cool. You can also see it with the face mask. So with that flat space, it's very hard to kind of make it look 3D. And I think they did a really good job with it. I mean, look at that. Definitely very unique. Next, we've got the Quark set. And yeah, it also says Q War K or K War K on it. So I don't know how you want to go with that one way or another. But that's a very kind of like aerospace kind of look to it. Has a nice kind of like burned atmosphere kind of hole through the front. Very crazy looking kind of breather thing going on in the front of the face mask. And then if we come around the back, very kind of plated again, very aerospace look to it. And there's that Quark again. So there you have that. Next, we've got the Welder set, which is a bunch of welded pieces of high-quality metal put together to make a face mask and chest piece. And they've got these very kind of fancy-looking straps. They're almost too fancy for the rest of it. But yeah, it's got all these other little bits and bobs, even some screws and rivets and old metal staples even. And yeah, there's just all sorts of put-togetherness with this, which just fits Rust beautifully. Last but not least, we always need some kind of funny thing, and well, here's the pixelated sensor set. And yeah, the whole thing just looks like a sensor pixelation over your character's face and back, and as you can see, it doesn't have the rest of the face mask. It's just the little front part. So who knows if this has a chance. It also has a less cut out version as well, which could help its chances also. Doesn't hurt to have an alt that's less, you know, cut, so to say. But hey, one or another, definitely a fun, goofy little design. Next up, we have our deployables, starting with a couple sleeping bags that had, well, very similar ideas. First one here is the sleeping storage bag, simply designed to look like... Oh, no, I think I got those mixed up. They look so much alike. This is the backpack sleeping bag by Demon. There we go. So there we have that, of course, themed after the backpacks that just got added into the game. And then this is the sleeping storage bag, also, of course, themed after the sleeping bag themed after the new backpacks. There we go. Speaking of backpack materials, we've got a box that looks very similar to it, simply called the storage box. But it's like a small box wrapped in tarp, pretty much. Then over here, we've got some large boxes, starting off with the polished obsidian box to go, of course, with that set. Has a nice little sparkle and shine to it, especially in the light. Then we've got the Ancient Squiggles large box by Legacy. Definitely has a nice little color to it, but still keeping kind of mute, more kind of lower desert tones, which I think is nice to help the kind of other colors pop. Then over here, we've got an Ancient large wooden box for you to go along with what's, I guess, becoming the Ancient set by Kiwahoo. Moving on to our furnaces, we've got the Inquisitor furnace for you. We had the Inquisitor door make its way into the shop. So, hey, maybe this furnace will be popping in this week. Moving on, we've got the Volcanic Eruption next for you. And this whole thing kind of just looks like old, messed up, cracked pavement or something, but no, it's an old lava flow and it comes to life when you light it up. Then over here we've got a continuation with the polished obsidian set, and that's because, well, we had some, like I said, there'd be some repeats this week because of last week. So hey, here we go, we've got the furnace to match. Moving on, we've got the Wasteland wooden door for you, and there's two versions. One has transparency, one as well, actually, sorry, they both have transparency. One has a painted design and one doesn't. So this is the one with the design, and the other one just pretty much just doesn't have anything that is painted in white. And then as you look back here, you can definitely see the transparency a little better with that contrast. Definitely a nice little door. Moving on, we've got some sheet metal doors. The first one here is the Swordsman door by Voodoo. And then we've got the Here door by Voodoo. So there we go. Moving on, there is the Ancient Sheet Metal door. Oh, so you go. You can see now why I'm saying it's starting to become a set. Because, well, there's multiple pieces here. Moving on, we've got a continuation in the Spray Can set with version 2 of the Double Door. Everyone loves double doors, and this set did pretty good. So I could say this one would be quite a sell if it made it in. But over here we have some very cool graffiti art as well with the Graffiti Love double door. Moving on, we've got a Chameleon Pigment metal door, not to be confused with the Chameleon gun set. Completely different authors, which is, you know, just similar name there. Chameleon Pigment, Chameleon, you get the idea. No, you cannot see through the portals. Last for our double doors, we've got the Panel Trim sheet metal door. And this thing just looks like it's made out of all salvaged, well, panels from solar panels and other machine parts. So, hey, there you go. Also has some suspicious ooze dripping here and there. Moving on to our garage doors, we've got some craziness starting with the Sealed Agony garage door here. Might not want to go inside of that one. Then we've got a continuation with the Plague set with the Plague garage door. Then we've got a couple futuristic looking ones for you here with the Layout garage door and the Spaceship garage door. And man, these are very, very cool looking. I like the details and everything. And this one just really kind of has a nice kind of center to it. But man, they might be a little bit too sci-fi for help. But hey, we'll just have to see. You never know. Then last but not least, we've got the Armored Door Secret Room. And it has a version with transparency, so you can see there's like little cracks you can kind of see through here and there. We come around on the back side. You can see it through them a little bit better with that contrast of the water. And let's go ahead and kill our lights. Take a look at our glow. There's that ooze again. Then the graffiti, spray can, I mean. Then we have our furnaces. There you can see all those lava cracks. Looks like an erupting volcano. And then with this one, you have all the little windows around, which I think light up beautifully. Alright, let's jump into our tools and weapons. Starting off, we've got the Gold Ore Rock by Gentle Beast. Many people have made gold rocks, and a few different ones have been accepted, so who knows what will happen, but one way or another, it's definitely a nice shiny little rock. Next, we've got a continuation for the Pixel set with the Hatchet and Pickaxe. This has been a very popular set, so not seeing this come in would be pretty surprising, but hey, you never know, sometimes things are just different. With that, of course, we have the matching pick right here to go right along with it. And then now we can show this one I pulled out early, the Ornamental Hatchet. Has kind of a little bit of a Viking-y kind of look to it. I don't know if it's really Viking. Maybe it's just the leather strapping that made me think of that. But the rest of it does kind of have its own thing going on for sure. And there's the matching pick, of course, to go with it. Then we've got another salvage ice pick. Maybe one day Helk will pick one of these ice picks. I can't even remember how many years it's been now since we've seen one. But hey, another attempt with the Olympus ice pick here. Let's all hope something happens. Next, we've got a Jackie for you, and it's the Frozen Jackhammer by Vlek, sorry. And there you have it. It looks like it has a nice little frost of snow over the top, and then the rest is a little bit of ice kind of encased around it. Then moving on, we've got the King Crossbow. Aiming down the sights here. And there we go for our reload. Definitely a beautiful design. Then we've got the Circus Cannon water pipe here for you by Debsky. Definitely a fun little goofy design to go along with a very fun goofy gun. Next up, we've got the RGB Revolver by Rotoman. Definitely a fun design. We saw the AK's redesign last week, and here we go with the Revy. Does look like it glows, but it doesn't, so it won't give you away at night. Aiming down the sights here, you have a nice little red tip to focus in on your shots. Next up, we've got another Revy, and it's the Chameleon Revolver version 2. This has also been a very popular set, and most times when it pops up, you'll see pieces come in. This one was skipped once, so hey, maybe it'll be skipped forever, or we'll see it this week. We'll just have to see what happens on Thursday. Next, we've got a Python for you. This is the Laser Python. It has a very kind of clean-cut, very out-of-the-box look to it, and almost a kind of construction-y feel. Definitely something I feel would apply to a lot of people who like kind of future gun look. Futuristic gun look. There we go. Cut off that word, it just didn't sound right. Aiming down the sides here, you've got a very glowy looking yellow tip, but it is just very bright. It does not actually glow. And there we go for the reload. Next up, we've got one more Python for you. It's the Madness Python, and it just has this kind of wooden, painted over, hand carved kind of attempted look at the grip there, and then the whole rest of it just looks kind of old, you know, and it just has this really nice vibe to it, really. Aiming down the sides here, you do have kind of a different color to the tips, but it's kind of the gray versus a lighter gray, really. There we go for a reload. Next, we've got a sap for you. It is the Marble Sap, and the whole thing just kind of looks like, well, it's made out of polished marble. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a black tip against the kind of darker metal, but it all kind of looks very similar depending on how the light hits it. Alright, we do have one more pistol for you. It is the Damascus Steel Sap. And yeah, it just has that nice swirl that you can expect with Damascus Steel, and some nice little gold and bronze highlights there. Aiming down the sights, you do have kind of a little bit of a darker, maybe, I'd say a shiny black tip, mixed with that Damascus Steel. And there's that reload. Moving along, we've got a Thompson for you, and it is the Whiteout Thompson. Always a very popular set. This one, as you can see, is stockless, which gives it a very almost heavy front look to it, you know, very overweighted front. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a red tip like the rest of the Whiteout set. Next, we've got the Frost Wyvern Thompson for you by Red Rex. This set is just absolutely crazy looking. The sculpting is so cool with the Wyvern there carved into the side. And we do have 2 pieces since one was submitted last week with the whole, mix up. So we have the SAR to show you as well. Only thing I do wish is maybe the tip was a little more white to really kind of stand out against the blue, or maybe even that kind of lighter blue from the Wyvern's eye or something. Next, we got a MP5 for you. It's the white carbon MP5. There's also the black carbon one, but again, like I said last time, pretty much kind of looks like black gold, so I'd say the white and gold probably has a higher chance. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a very interesting kind of red bars going along, which is pretty cool. And we'll pop a reload for you right there. Next, we've got that SAR for you I just told you about. As you can see, it is stockless, and it rocks that same very cool looking Wyvern. Aiming down the sides here, you do have some claws, and there we go for that reload. Moving on, we've got some ARs for you, and the first one's going to be the Honey Striker. And yeah, it just looks like an old beat up orange kind of AK, but then you see there's like this honeycomb and honey leaking out of it. Definitely has a really unique look. Aiming down the sides, you've got some black carbon kind of honeycombs there, and some faded orange against that kind of carbon black for the tips. Next, we've got the Fire Croco version 2, and this thing has a really cool design. You can see that the newer version is a little bit lighter, and I'd say pops a little better off the AK, especially the flame. Definitely like the wooden tip. Also has a stock and stockless version, and you can see there's a nice red tip to the side there. Next, we've got the Thunder Gold AR. Like I said, a couple things will overlap, and this AR is a very cool one that definitely looks sick. I could see this one coming in with a higher price tag, as Hulk does like the kind of golden things when it comes to that. And you've got this very shiny silver, white shine versus that gold tip. Depending how the light hits it, is just almost mesmerizing. There we go for a reload. Next up, we've got the Maverick AK, and yeah, I don't really know if those are supposed to be words or if it's just a pattern, and I know we kind of went the whole pattern that was something kind of thing with the Azul set, and yeah, there's also like some previous stuff that looked like they're written on and got skipped on, so who knows. One way or another, here it is. Aiming down the sights, does that say Rust? I think it does. And yeah, Maverick like a king. So hey, there you go there. Next, we've got some LRs, and there's a Cobalt Cyclone version 2. And man, I just love that cobalt popping shiny blue. This is very clean and just has a nice color. You don't see it in Rust too often. Aiming down the sides here, you do have a black tip versus that blue, and the back ring is also black to match. Next, we've got another LR for you. It's the unrendered LR, and if you look, it looks like the whole bottom of it is just kind of not quite rendered yet, thus the name. And yeah, the whole thing kind of goes with the stock as well, and other various chunks of it. Definitely a very unique idea. Aiming down the sides, you can see there's a nice red ring and tip, and you can even see some more disrendering there. I think I just made up a word. I don't think that's a real word. Next, our last LR, the Skull Force LR, and man, that carving on it, it just has such a very cool look. We did get one piece in from this set, and it looks like it did pretty well, so I could maybe see this LR coming in as well. Aiming down the sides here, you've got that kind of off-white versus a light black for you. There's that reload. Last but not least, the Welder L96. So you saw the armor, and here we go. We've got an L96, and has some cool patterns carved in there, some eyes and horns. Definitely very crazy looking for sure. But that's going to do it, everyone. So sound off down in the comment section below which ones you were hoping to make it in the most and why. I'll try to pass that on, and if you have any other kind of feedback, I'll try to get to that to whoever it needs to get to as well, if it isn't for me. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay rusty.